You know, it's movies like this that make it. Try that again. Action. You know, it's movies like this that make it so I never want to take a road trip again. We're talking about Vacancy, all right? So last night, picked out horror randomly from the thing. Problem is, I don't have a lot of horror to pick from, and there's some horror movies I want to save for October. So, what do? Looking through my horror, I just moved all my horror stuff out to the living room, because I do that periodically, sometimes. Usually it's around October, and then I move it back around March, but I'm backwards this year. So I don't know, but well, it's great. So Vacancy's a movie that came out in 2003, stars Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale, and is directed by Nimrod Antal. And I apologize for you growing up with the name Nimrod. That had to be terrible. Although, from wherever you're from, that was probably a normal name. But come to America. Hey, where are you going, Nimrod? How you know my name? You know, I'm just saying. But it's about this couple. They're on the brink of divorce. They went to this anniversary party thing. They're on the brink of divorce. Their son recently died. That's part of the reason why they're getting a divorce, you know. The husband David, played by Luke Wilson, he took the wrong turn to Albuquerque, and so they are lost. And they get to this garage, which is run by Ethan Embry, who tells them which way to go, and there's their car. But as they're driving, car sputters out, end up having to walk back to the garage. He's not there anymore, so they go to the motel across the street. They get a room for the night and then talk to the guy in the morning. However, once they get there, they find that there are snuff films there, and they film snuff films, and that people are getting killed for real. Not just films, the real snuff films. So they have to try to escape. So first and foremost, I've enjoyed this movie. I guess I've come down on it because I thought it was better than it was, and then rewatching it. You ever have watched a movie before and haven't seen it in years, and it's like, oh, I remember that being very good. Then you watch it, and it's like, yeah, that was fine. That was fine. That's how it was supposed to be. I was like, Vacancy, that's a good movie, right? Then I put it in. Remember that being a good movie, and I put it in, and I'm like, yeah. Well, that was Vacancy. It's like, okay, it's not as better as you remember. It's not as good as you remember, but it's still not bad. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale, they really make up this movie for me. Like, they have that relationship where it's like, you can tell they've been in a relationship and they're on the rocks. They're very good at it. I like Luke Wilson, you know, star girl and old school. Kate Beckinsale was in Underworld movies, which I've never seen. But she's been in other things like that Total Recall remake. She's in it way too much because her husband was a director. Even though her character was supposed to die early on, he's like, no, that's my wife. I'm not killing her. She'll kill me. So, yeah, I'm just saying. And as far as, like, the movie goes, I feel like everything is telegraphed from the beginning. Like, they stop at this garage. Ethan Embry is there. Obviously, he's in on it. Later it's revealed he is in on it, but it's not a really big twist because you know that. They get to the gas station, and it's Frank Whaley. You know, the what guy from Pulp Fiction? What in no country I haven't heard of? Speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker, do you speak it? That kind of thing. It's you know, I'm just saying, you see him there, and he's got that, Frank Whaley has that sort of performance where it's off creepy, like he seems like he'd be a normal guy, you know, but there's just something off with him. And I would say it's perfect casting because you could guess maybe he's in it, maybe he's not. I think they revealed that he's in on it too quickly. Like, what if he wasn't just watching it in the back? What if he had like a secret little area and he like toys with him at first? looks like she's trying to help him, and then later, like halfway through the film, it's revealed, shit, he's in on it. Like he says, oh, I have these independent contracts. It's security cameras. It's just security cameras. I never. And then he's like he shows everything is normal. They could do that. And he's like, oh, I don't know where these tapes come from. By the way, they just have the tapes. Okay, so I got to question the legitimacy of this whole entire operation, right? How could they do this? How long have they been doing this? Think about this. Like, when they get in there, into the room, there's like 2 or 3 tapes just sitting on top of the VCR, right? And then later, when the truck driver shows up, Frank Whaley hands him a whole box of tapes. Like, I mean, you could say they're copies, maybe, of the same tape, but, you know, you never really think that. You're thinking, how many times do they do this, and how is there not like a missing persons report? Like, they call the cops, and no one says, like, oh, yeah, we got a lot of missing persons report. We can never find anyone. There's never any proof. No, it never goes that way. There's never anything. And I do feel like there are certain scenes where the tension is dialed up and it works, but also there's a lot of telegraph things in this kind of horror thriller film that you've seen in other horror thriller films just they're just there to stretch it out. Like, the truck driver guy shows up and they're banging on the window to try to get his attention, and he like walks up like he's confused, and you see these guys walk behind him and you think, oh shit, he's screwed. But then, like, the logic part of your brain is like, wait a minute, something's gonna happen. Either he's gonna get killed or he's in on it. Those are the only 2 things pop in your head, because we're barely halfway through the film. There's no way he can. And then it turns out he's in on it. And then they're eventually able to call the cops. The cop shows up, but again, we got like a half hour, 20 minutes left of this film. So obviously he's not gonna save him. Nope, gets killed. So it's just try to rack up the tension, and it doesn't really work. For me, there's a lot of things. And I never really thought, like, there was never really a time I thought, oh my god, who are these killers? From the beginning, it was obvious that Ethan Embry and Frank Whaley were at least in on it. And they do this whole, it's a whole operation, I guess. And there are some moments, but it's like, I don't know. And there's really, like, I don't understand something like David, he tells her to, like, stay in the corner because the camera's on her so he can go through the tapes, but it's like, they're gonna notice you're not in the video. So they're gonna be like, oh, she's there. What's he doing? It's not really deceiving them. They're always gonna think something's going on. They never do anything, and then they find out there's a, like, so, yeah, so they realize that the bad guys are coming through. There's this one bad guy that comes through the bathroom, so he goes in there to look, and he sees there's a vent. So obviously there's a camera in there. So what does he do? He puts up the shower curtain, and it's like, okay, but if there's a camera in there, he saw you in there. Like, he saw you in there. And it never comes back. Maybe there's not a camera in there, but I don't know. Then he finds a little secret hatch, and they crawl through. There's like rats and shit. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's rats. It's rats. It's rats. But yeah, this movie's fine, you know. And, you know, I've always said, you know, like, downer endings, I don't like them. But in this case, like, at one point, you think that David gets killed, and so Kate Beckinsale's on her own. Why? Like, this entire film has been based on Luke Wilson taking the lead and trying to save his wife, and kind of proving that the relationship should continue, and then he gets stabbed and supposedly killed for her to take over. Why? Because we got to do the final girl trope, right? Which doesn't really make sense in this case, but we got to do it. We got to do it. Eventually, she's able to, you know, I don't know if she kills anyone, but I know that she, like, defends herself, kills people in defense, whatever. But I know she calls the cops, and it's like, well, we already sent an officer down there, and he's dead. They killed him, or whatever. Reminds me of Return of the Living Dead. Send more paramedics, or whatever. You know? But that's not what it is. But it could, you know, people are like, oh, she sent him out. I don't know. But then they get the happy ending when she goes back to her husband's body and find out he's still alive, and they embrace, and yay, they could be a couple, but couples that together traumatic experiences technically never get along. This movie's the middle of the road for me. It was fine. It's not as good as I remember it. It's one of those, what do you call them? The Mandela effect, maybe. You thought it was better than it was. I don't know. Let's go ahead and pick our next category here. Drop it on the floor this time. Boom. Give me something good. Oh. Okay. Well. It's interesting. Superhero / comic book. I put both to kind of give me a each way to do it. So. You know, part of me thinks I should have just done 20. And I would have gotten to the categories I wanted to do more. This is fine. So, what are your thoughts on Vacancy? By the way, it's in this 3-pack set I have. I know we did last summer when A Stranger Calls, the remake. It's in this double pack. But, yeah. What are your thoughts on Vacancy? Let me comment, let me share, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotto. I've been Scotty. We'll live for tacos. I'll see you in the next one.